Hey guys, it's Mrs. York, and we are working on the nervous system. We have an anchoring phenomenon. It just is something for you to think about before we get started. And how does this shark sense what is going on around it? How does that compare to humans? So our focus question is, how does your body use sensory receptors to respond to stimuli? So, sense making, what does stimuli mean? So, a stimulus is an input from the environment, such as a sound or a touch. And stimuli is plural, so it's more than one stimulus, okay? So, for example, when you smell that flower, you take in the color of it, but you also are smelling it, so you have stimuli instead of a stimulus. Okay, so what are other two senses does our body have to interpret stimuli? So sense making, can you feel the difference? Many organisms have a very similar body system that interact when the organism responds to stimuli. People, horses, dewey, spiders, sharks, and worms have some kind of nervous system. In some organisms, such as people and sharks, the systems are more sophisticated and can take in more types of information. A person can clearly see a car coming toward them, the color, how fast it's going, how big it is. A worm can only detect the shadow and the movement of a fish approaching in a stream, but it would not be able to clearly see the fish. People are able to use their senses, touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste to get a complex information about their surroundings. This information travels through nerves to the human brain. Today, we'll investigate our sense of touch. So let's get ready for our investigation. For tomorrow's investigation, you will need a 2-point sensor. Here are some things you may find at home that could work. You could use a paper clip, you could use a bobby pin, you could use a staple. And there's a video explaining how to get the material ready, and it is by Mrs. Ogden over at Alder Creek.
To get ready for tomorrow's investigation, you need to find something that you can use for a 2-point sensor. Okay, we're going to be testing people's ability to differentiate between one or two pokes. So the best thing that you can find for this is a paper clip. If you have a paper clip around your house, this would be the best option. So you can unfold that paper clip. Never do this when we're back in school. That's really annoying for teachers. But for this thing that we're doing at home, you can do that. So we want to unfold it and then be able to adjust it so they're about the same height, and so they're about 1.5 centimeters apart. Okay, so it might be helpful to like do it around a pencil. This is too thick, but if I did it around like a pencil, then I would be able to kind of modify that so that this is about centimeter apart. Okay, so that's the best option is a paper clip. Second best option, if you can find a bobby pin in your house. So if you have one of these, you just take it and then just spread it so it's about about 1 centimeter apart. And then the last option, but probably something you could find in your binder, would be a staple. So if you take a staple out of the papers that are in your binder, you could use that as long as it's about a centimeter apart. So find one of those materials so that you are ready to conduct the investigation tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, that's the end of Monday. So now you have two choices. You can be done with the science and move on with your day, or go on to the next slide for a science challenge. Either option's 100% okay. Decide what is best for you today. And here's the optional extensions. If you want to do something more science today, here are some optional tasks you can explore. You can listen to the podcast from Invisibilia. It's an unlikely superpower. It's an interesting 52-minute true story about a woman who has such an incredible sense of smell she can smell diseases. Or you can investigate your sense of smell. Have someone collect different safe items around the house that have strong smells, closing your eyes, see if you can identify or guess what they are. So that is the end of today's lesson. So make sure you're ready with your paperclip or staple or whatever it is for tomorrow. And you get to poke tomorrow. Woohoo!